Hello, it's you again. I'm back doing this again? I guess so. Well, someone's got to do it, and I'm stepping up to the plate, and I'm going to do it. Y'all want to bet a football game tonight, and I know it's not Thursday Night Football, and I know it's not App State and fucking Marshall. It's Alcorn State and the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So I'm here. I'm going to talk about it. I have 3 picks on the game. And listen, I think that this is an interesting matchup if you watch and keep up with SWAC football. I think that with Alcorn State, this is a team that definitely played a very strong game against South Alabama this previous week. And I think going into a conference game against University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, this is a game that they can win. This is a game that they have to show up with the defense, though, in order to do it. With Alcorn State, listen, they suffered a 7-point loss to South Alabama. They stayed within the 21.5 point line full game. And let's be freaking brutally honest. Schedule and structure and routine is very important in preparation for a football game. And when Alcorn State did not have a trainer for 2 days on the Monday and Tuesday, the conditioning days for their team, it obviously had an effect. In the third and fourth quarter, you had guys that were cramping up. You had guys that were trying to come out of the game, but they were persevering because they knew that this was going to happen. That is a team with some heart. And this is a team with a decent offense also, you know. When you look at this Alcorn State team, they can run the ball, they can throw the ball. They're not going to wow you, but they do have the better quarterback. They have the SWAC the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year from 2019 and Felix Harper. Felix Harper has thrown for 623 yards and only 1 interception while completing 60% of his passes. That's the kind of the guy that I want, because on the other side of the ball, while Skylar Perry may be a dual threat guy, he's completing 49% of his passes. He's not fucking throwing for 200 yards a game. So I'm not really inclined to take this Arkansas Pine Bluff when you know that they are one-dimensional. If you can stop them from running the football, you can't trust the accuracy or the legitimacy of their pass attack. I think that when you look at this game, you got to throw some of these numbers out the window, you know. Obviously, with the Golden Lions, they turned the ball over 0 times this season, and the Alcorn St. Braves, they forced turnovers. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And obviously, with who they played so far, will reflect with their scoring offense and defense, which I'm basically just tossing out the window. I think that as long as Alcorn State can contain DeJuan Miller, who I think is their best breakaway receiver, I think that they can keep this offense in check. This is a group where you're not going to have a guy that really dominates on the ground. Kier Crossley, he only averages 67 yards a game through obviously a small sample size this year. But I just see it as Alcorn's a team that definitely has championship SWAC aspirations. LaCharles Pringle could and will be the difference in this game. He is the security blanket for Felix Harper. He is that possession receiver, that third down reception that you're just waiting to happen. And I think that he's going to be able to do that again tonight. I think going up against South Alabama with the conditions that they played in is going to benefit them. And I'm taking Alcorn State 2 ways. I'm taking them first half, I'm taking them full game, and I'm taking the full game under. This is a game where I think that you can expect in the high 40s, but I just think that it finds a way to stay under that 54.5. You do not have experienced kickers on the Arkansas Pine Bluff side, and I think if you miss a field goal or two, could be the difference between this game going over or staying under. So, in the wise wisdom of the Master Jedi of Unders, Noli knows. Hope this game stays under. And now, definitely a spot that I think is going to be, easy is a bunch of games on Saturday. So I'll talk about them for a couple minutes. But I'll say this. FCS lines came out today. We're already seeing some pretty interesting line movement when it comes to it. I'll start with what was the game that wowed me the most? The Rice game. So the Rice game opened at 24, went down to 16 and a half, and now is back up to 21 and a half against Texas Southern. And Texas Southern is a very poor defense. I don't see how Rice doesn't break out of their offensive slump and put up a 40 or 50 bird on this team. Then one of my favorite spots that I actually pounded was South Dakota State and Indiana State. That game went from 14 and a half to 8.5 to 11 and a half. So not as big movement, but still very significant. And obviously I don't have to take South Dakota State at a 14 and a half, which is always comforting psychologically. Another big game that there was some line movement, but I still think that there's value in the number is Merrimack College versus Delaware State. Against these bottom 250 type teams, Merrimack can beat these guys. Merrimack has the offensive weapon. Merrimack has the special teams ability, whether it be on punt and kick returns or whether it be blocking point after freaking tries. Never know when those 2 points will come into play. And I think against Delaware State, who's just coming off a 38-6 loss against ETSU, I think Merrimack probably doesn't lock them down as much defensively, but they could put up 40 on their own against this Delaware State secondary. Another big line move when it comes to these games are... Bear with me. That is it. That's all the big line moves. But it's Thursday at 5:23. I'm sure by Saturday morning at freaking 9 or 10 a.m., there's going to be some crazy line moves. All right. So going back to the video that I did 2 days ago, I like Cal Poly in Montana. It was one of the games that I really wanted to see a line on. I had an idea of what the line would come out at, and it came out right at what I thought was 35. I took the 35 with Montana. I know it's a big number, but you'd be surprised at how fast Montana can be up 3 touchdowns on you. So I do suspect that the first half line will come out, hopefully 16 and a half at its early point, and then it'll probably get steamed up. I'll try and be on that opener. I would like it anywhere under 19 points. So Montana is going to be a first half full game play. The other game is Western Illinois and Youngstown State. So I said that I had a threshold of 63 on that over. It opened up at 65 and a half. I took it. Like I said, I think Western Illinois is able to put up 30. I think Youngstown State is able to put up 40. I think that this is a game that gets above 72. So, all right. So now there's a couple picks that I would give out if you can bet them on your book. You know, obviously that's a big if. A lot of these games aren't going to be available on a lot of books until Saturday morning or Friday night late. But this is my 3 pick. This is my 3 pick. That is probably my favorite plays. So first off is a game with Wagner and Temple. This is a game that I'm really suspect of what's going on with the line because the line opened at 27 and a half and went down to 23 and a half. I was going to take Temple at 27 and a half. I was fine with that, but it's a little suspect. I think that the line will go up once it's opened up to the general fucking betting market, but this Temple team, they showed a lot of perseverance being down 17 versus Akron, coming back, covering that game. Now they get to go up against a Wagner squad that's lost 16 out of 17 games. They were picked to finish last in the Northeast Conference, and that's a bad conference, you know? So there's a lot of beatable teams. There's a lot of bettable against teams in that group. And I think that when you look at it, the coach for Wagner, Rod Carey, he can't find his fucking ass. he tries to say that he treats every game like it's Alabama, but I'm sorry. I don't know how you can get up when you watch your teammates fuck around like this team does. So when I look at Wagner, obviously this offense is going to rely on their quarterback, Jalen Frazier. He comes from Georgia Southern, and he throws the ball just as often as he fucking takes the ball and runs with it. And Wagner is a run-first offense. So if Temple can lock them down running the ball, this is a team that just doesn't have the personnel to go down the field and beat you a bunch of times. I think that the one area of concern that you have, and the one area why I guess Jalen Frazier runs so much, is the size that they have on the offensive line. They got a guy that's 315 pounds. They got two guys that are 330, and they got a fucking tackle on the right side that's 6'6". But I think that a guy like Nick Baggs of Temple, he can go up against size like that and get around it and get through it and beat it. So, you want to make these Temple linebackers fucking like the underdog in this matchup. I think it's going to fucking play against Wagner. And on the other side of the ball for Wagner, which makes me like Temple so much more, Temple may put up 60 points against these guys. They're undersized. They play a 3-4. They have 5 sophomores along the front 7. Wagner is another team that has a very young special teams. Freshman kicker, freshman punter, freshman long snapper, and they're only netting 31 yards a punt. So I just think that Wagner is going to turn the ball over, which they haven't done a lot of. They're going to continue to get a lot of penalties called on them. And I took Temple minus 23.5. So it just seemed like the right thing to do. So that's what I'm dealing with. When it comes to Sam Houston State, this is one of the premier teams in the fucking FCS rankings. This is the team that won the FCS title. So I look at the Sam Houston State Bearcat team, and I'm just like, they're going to throttle people. They're not trying to win games lightly. They're trying to fuck you right in the mouth. And I think that's what's going to happen again this week. I think that Central Arkansas is going to get fucking hurt. They're going to be crying. They're going to want their mommy. And Sam Houston State is going to fucking eat them alive. This passing attack, you could have a good start against them. And I'm telling you, it's not even going to matter. They just need a quarter to fucking get it together, and they will fucking come for you. 21 points, 24 points unanswered. It's what they do. So I think that when you look at it, this is a group that is looking for playoff fucking aspirations. They have playoff aspirations, and I think that they're going to be getting there. They got to walk through the Central Arkansas team, and I think that they're going to be able to do so. When I look at Sam Houston State, this is a group that just has a lot of fucking flavor, a lot of fucking swag to it. When you can score as fluidly as this team, it just makes it fucking harder for this fucking Central Arkansas passing attack to fucking keep up. I know that you got some pass and catch type receivers on UCA, but I just think that with Sam Houston State and the way that they're trying to fucking get to work, it's just not going to work out for fucking Central Arkansas, even at home. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Sam Houston State are on 2 different planets. So I'll gladly take Sam Houston State in the 11.5. All right, on to the last game. This is just a situational spot for me. When I watched that Oregon versus Stony Brook game, I was cheering for my boy Sharpie, the Harpoon Master, the BBW Slater, the man that fucking makes fucking 350-pound women great again. And he was fucking wanting the over in that game, so I wanted him to cash. My guy Mike Richards from fucking Saga 9 fucking 60. What does he do? He's an Oregon Duck fan. So obviously I wanted them to cover the fucking 37 opener and up to fucking 40, finished on 41. They're playing a Stony Brook team that now is coming off a 41-point defeat. They're going back home. They're playing Fordham. Fordham is a bottom fucking 10 FCS fucking team in my power rankings. And I just don't see how they don't return the favor. I know that Stony Brook doesn't have the most explosive offense. They're not a team that's going to score real fast. They're a team that's going to fucking hit you punch you in the mouth, and then fucking run it down the A gap most of the time. I still think that 9.5 is too short of a number. I think that they can win this game by close to 21 points. I think 9.5 is a generous number. You're getting a team in a good situational spot, coming off a 41-point loss. Now they're going up against a competition that they can do that to the opponent. Sign me up. So those are my 3 plays. Those are the plays I like the most of the card so far. And obviously, if you want to see all my plays, there's a ton of them. I got fucking couple stacks already. Just tap my fucking Google spreadsheet link on my Twitter profile. But that's about it for me. 3 picks for Saturday: Temple minus 23.5, Stony Brook minus 9.5, Sam Houston State minus 11.5, and then tonight, Alcorn St minus 2.5 first half, 4.5 full game, under 54.5. Obviously, I'm a dart thrower. I like to call myself an expert dart thrower, but I am throwing darts here. And I'm hoping to hit some bullseyes, you know? I'm hoping not to end up in a closet with a fucking thing of popcorn and a hole in the fucking thing for my dick. That won't be fucking good. It won't be good times. And I most certainly will not be in Nick's closet watching him have sex with Asian masseuse. So that's it for me. I'm about to fucking get the fuck out of here, drink some apple juice, smoke a bong hit, and get ready for this football game in 2 hours. Let's fucking get that money. Local strippers need our support, and they need degenerates like us to fucking support them. Have a great night. Dip your fucking chicken tenders in honey.